Hey folks, Nas here. Appreciate everybody joining me today for another No Man's Sky All Alone episode. Alrighty, so I have been doing the living ship missions. You probably saw in the last episode a few different things that I've done between episodes and everything. We are now down to, I believe this is our last step. However, you can see it down there, Starbirth in the bottom right. It's awaiting contact, which means that we got to go out into space and pulse. However, for this next section, I am standing outside and my hazard protection is dropping. But anyway, yes, temperature levels are stabilizing. My throat is messed up again today. I don't know what is going on, but we're just going to have to deal with it. Alrighty, so for the living ship in this next section, we have to have a portal, a planetary portal. And we haven't gone and found one yet. So that is going to be my next useful base, because you can always use the planetary portals to port between different galaxies and stuff. If you know the addresses and everything. So let's say you're hunting for an S-class multi-tool or an S-class starship, or you're hunting for a particular animal that you want as a pet or whatever. You can find these addresses online where people are sharing them and stuff like that, and then you can use the planetary portal system to enter that address and teleport to that system without having to jump through all of the different systems and try and find it the hard way or the manual way. But anyway, we need a planetary portal for this next section of finding our first living ship. So what I am going to do, and in abandoned mode, because you can't find charts, I mean, there's no cartographer to buy charts from, because that's usually how you would go and find a monolith, is what we're looking for. Monolith is going to give us the ability to find a portal. So it's a kind of a process. So what we can do is we can go to the Exo research station, the Exocraft research station, and we can purchase the radars for the Exocrafts. The radar for the Minotaur does not actually show you the location of a monolith. However, the radar for like the Colossus or the Rover, or Roamer, excuse me, will show you a location of monolith. That way it's easier to find these things. So I'm going to go ahead. There's three different radars. You got the standard radar, the B class, and the A class radar. I'm going to buy all three of them and then install them in like the Colossus or something. It doesn't matter which one you install them in. You just need to be able to install all of them, because each layer is going to give you something different to search for. We'll do the Colossus, since I'm probably going to be doing this out of the Colossus anyway. So I've already got all the parts for it, so we can install the Exocraft radar. We can install the power resonator. I know I just skipped a class, but that doesn't matter. We're installing all of them anyway. And then we're going to install the amplifier. There we go. Now, those are all installed in the Colossus. Now, I've already got a base in this system. I don't want to put another base in this system. I'd rather put bases in different systems. So let me go to a system that doesn't have a base real quick, and then we're going to locate a monolith and see what we're going to require for that. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, I am in a different system now. I have pressed the wrong button, but anyway, I'm in a different system now, and I've found a few of the planets here I was kind of looking for honey anyway. So I've been on a couple of planets that have cactus flesh. They would normally have honey on them. They didn't, unfortunately. But anyway, I decided to go and land on this dissonant planet here, the metallurgic planet. Maybe the portal is going to be on this planet, but I don't know. We got to find the monolith first. Wow, like when I landed, it was daylight. Let's go ahead and call in our Colossus. And we can hop in the Colossus, and we're going to go to our radar. We're going to click the radar. Now, when you go through the radar, you can see we can scan for a trading post, a depot. You can scan for the pods to increase your cargo capacity, technology and cargo capacity. Abandoned structures, scan for ruins, and scan for alien structures. We're going to scan for alien structures. This is how we're going to find a monolith. And there we go. Very first one, alien monolith detected. And it's going to give us a location for that right there. All right, let me hop in my ship and head that way. Now, for the monolith, I'm going to have to probably go back to a storage unit, but for the monolith, we are going to need a race-specific item in order for the monolith to show us where a portal is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put a save beacon at the monolith. That way I can find my way back to this monolith. So we got save beacon. I do have the materials. We are going to just color it purple. There we go. Just color it purple. That'll be fine. That way we can look for, where's the little purple marker? You can see it at the top of the screen there. Little purple star. But that way we can find it when we come back to this system. And to know which item you need, you're going to need to know what the controlling faction is. Now, this is a little bit odd for abandoned mode because abandoned mode technically doesn't have anybody but you in it. So there's nobody to actually control it. But it is considered a Korvax system, so we are going to need a Korvax item in order to activate the monolith to show us where a portal is. So let me head back to my base so I can get, I believe it's a Korvax casing that I need. Let me double check that I don't have any. I probably should have called my roamer in. I got so much crap in my inventory right now. You can tell I've been going out gathering radiant shards to break them down into nanites. And no, I do not have a Korvax casing on me. Let me go grab a Korvax casing. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so I do have Korvax casing. You only need one. Now, if you have a Gek system, then I believe you're going to need the Gek relic. If you have a Viking system, you're going to need a Viking dagger. So that's why I've kind of held on to all of these items here. Put those there. So Korvax casing, Gek relic, Viking dagger. Now there is a Viking effigy, but the effigy, I don't believe the effigy is what you need for the Viking monolith to show you where a portal is. I'm almost positive it's the dagger. The dagger is probably one of the harder things to find. You're going to get Gek or Korvax more often. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of what I got 11 of the Gek, and I had 3 of the Korvax and 2 of the Viking dagger. But anyway, we need the Korvax casing, so I've got that, and now I can head back to that system, go over to my portal here, and then what we can do to easily find your way back to a system, you can go to space stations, and you should be able to have one marked previous system. So I can go back to previous system, go to that space station, and then I can fly back down to that planet that I left the save beacon on. Alright, we are coming up on our monolith here, where we left our save beacon. I'm just going to fly back down here and park wherever. Perfect. Now, you created a save point coming out of your ship. So if by chance, because you do have to like answer a question, if by chance you get the question wrong, you can reload to restore point. So we can go into your options, go to reload, restore point, and then that'll take you back to when you hopped out of your ship. Just doing this as an example. Alrighty, so you can see that we're back at our ship after reloading and everything. So we can run back down here to the monolith, and then you're going to interact with it. And then you want to make sure that you're reading the dialogue. Now, granted, I know I skip a lot of dialogue and things, but when it comes to areas where you have to read it, I definitely tell you, you need to read it. For many ages, it appears that pilgrims have carved numerical figures between the glowing glyphs of the monolith. Looking down, I notice an ancient coin. I scrape the ground with my boot and unearth several more. The site is otherwise silent. Perhaps it's eternally unresponsive, or perhaps it's awaiting for something. Now, you have a couple of options here. You can offer it 16 units, or you can take coins, select the coins that were laying on the ground, or you can leave. Now, most of the dialogue will usually give you a clue, but for most of these answers that I've noticed, being greedy is not the answer. So taking the coins would not be the answer in this one. You want to offer the 16 units. So ideally, most of these dialogues that you get at monoliths or whatever, they want you to be selfless. So don't be greedy. That's usually the correct answer. So we're going to offer 16 units. Now, again, if you get this answer wrong, you can reload back to restore point and try it again. Let's see, the echoes that dwell here awake for the smallest slice of time. I feel a part of their ancient convergence. They bless me. There we go. And we learned a new word for the Atlas. Now, we answered the question correctly, so we can interact with the monolith again. The ancients that inhabit this monolith accept my presence. They will tolerate a request. Now, one Korvax casing, I can locate a portal. And this is how you locate portals. In any difficulty, you can use the radar that I put in the Colossus. Now, if you're in normal or standard permadeath, you can go to the cartographer and buy charts to find a monolith. But this is how you're going to find a portal, is through the monolith. Alrighty, so it's going to indicate a portal for us. We're going to follow the little marker around, and there it is. And it actually looks like it's going to be on this planet. Can I not mark that? I can't mark that, can I? How about this? Can I do it this way? There we go. Going to use my visor to mark it. Sorry. Alright, now I don't need to mark this monolith anymore. I'm going to create a save, and I'm going to pick up my beacon so I can use it later. Let's go back over here. Hop in my ship, and we're going to head towards the portal. Here we are. Here is our portal. We're going to go ahead and land. Now, for anybody that's doing this, I would suggest making a base at this portal. That way you have a portal that you can use any given time that you want to. Once you find a portal, you don't have to find another portal. You can just use this portal. Now, granted, once you change universes, obviously you'd want to find a new portal in each of the different universes, because you can't use the planetary portal between universes. So once you go to the center of the galaxy, then this portal is only good in this galaxy. So you'd have to find another portal in a new galaxy in order to teleport through that galaxy. So just keep that in mind. One portal per galaxy. Alrighty, so we have our portal. We can charge it and everything, which I am not ready to charge. I don't have all of the items to do so, but you can see here, you know, that you got to charge them up. This one requires organic elements. This one requires catalytic elements. This one requires earth elements. This one requires stellar material. So if I click on one of them, you can see the organic elements. So carbon, condensed carbon, oxygen, you would need those items. Condensed carbon is typically your cheapest. It requires the least. If we go to the catalytic elements, you can see it's sodium and sodium nitrate. Obviously, as you can see, it takes less sodium nitrate than it does sodium. If we go to the earth elements, you got a lot more choices. You got dihydrogen, you got deuterium, you got cobalt, ionized cobalt, and salt. Typically, I believe ionized cobalt is the cheapest, I believe. I don't have any on me, as you can see. And then if we go to the last one, which is our stellar elements, you can see copper, cadmium, emerald, indium, and quartzite. I believe quartzite is your cheapest. I'm not sure. These last few may be the same amount, but I do have emerald on me, so you can use emerald to charge this. And you have to go around and you have to charge each one of these elements for all the different glyphs. You're also going to make sure that you have all of your portal glyphs available as well. Alrighty, so what I am going to do is I am going to place a base computer down because I am going to build a base here and I don't have 30 chromatic metal on me, so I'm going to place a save beacon down. Let's see, we're going to mark this. I want it to be a little bit brighter. I had a lot of hard time seeing that purple a little bit ago, so I'm going to mark this with a yellow beacon. Create a save. Now, I believe I can call in my roamer. I believe my roamer has chromatic metal. Yeah, there we go. Not much chromatic metal left in that, but anyway, now I can build a save beacon. I'm going to kind of build it out a little bit away from the portal because I can move this. Once I start building the base, I can move it inside the base. Let's go ahead and do color and place. We're going to claim the base. There we go. I'm actually go back into this and I'm going to rename this. So this is going to be my portal base, and then I'm going to put the galaxy name next to it because I'll be able to see this base from my teleporter list, but I don't want to just name it portal base. So if I'm going to multiple galaxies, I'm going to have multiple portal bases. So this tells me that it's what galaxy it's in. There we go. Then I can leave. Then I can call in my Colossus and start building my base. What do we get from these items here? Ooh, pure ferrite. That is great because I can gather pure ferrite on this planet and I can build little prefab structures and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I can go into here. Let's go to the square room. Let's go ahead and color it. Let's go into fly mode. Missing component. Oh, I don't have I don't have my Colossus up here. That's why I didn't do that. Okay. Call the Colossus. There we go. We'll just put it on top of the roamer. No big deal. Once you call it in, it should be the active Exocraft. Yeah, there we go. Now we can build. Let's go ahead and color it again. Am I going to be able to do this? Let's check. Because I don't want it sunk in the ground. Is it going to be right? That's not going to be right, is it? That's going to sit way up. It is sitting way up. Why is it sitting so high up? Okay, let's just try and set this right there. Let's put a door on it so I can get inside. I think I'm pretty close. Oh, it's off just a smidgy. I wanted that thing to pop up in the center. So let me see if I can fix that again to get it done better. And that looks more centered left to right. It's still not. It's not quite perfect. Man, that's so hard. That's about my 6th time placing that daggum thing. I had it placed perfect a second ago, but I forgot to color the structure. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, I've got a little building now that I can come in, and then what we can do is we can actually put a door on the other side. Make sure you color it. There we go. That way you can just leave out the other side and run through the portal. And then what we can do, I'm going to leave the save beacon up for right now because that's my only way to save right here, other than hopping in and out of my ship. Then I think what I'm going to do is I will make an additional room, probably not off the sides. How far? Yeah, see, these little pillars right here would block a doorway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put maybe an outdoor platform. I'll come out with an outdoor platform and then take stairs maybe up each side, and I'll put a teleporter on one side and a I'm not trying to think of galactic trade terminal or something on the other side, because the only thing that we're really ever going to use this for is going to different galaxies, not galaxies, different systems. So anyway, make you a base. I can put I'll put that inside in a little bit because I'm running out of time in this episode now. But anyway, that's how you find portals and stuff. And then maybe in the next episode, we will do what's required. Let me get over here. There we go. That way we can do what's required for the next step on our Starbirth. That way we can get our living ship going. But anyway, I appreciate everybody joining me today. If you guys are finding these episodes enjoyable and helpful, definitely click that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you folks in the next one. You take care and happy hunting.